Hello, guys. This is the lecture for writing the full essay. So, I would take out a pen and paper so that you can take down notes because there will be a quiz on this later. Otherwise, let's get ready. So, these documents will be available on Canvas for you to access as well as this lecture video. But I would take notes because some of the things that I say during the video won't be on these notes. So, as you can see, every document that I have, I will have properly labeled and in the correct font, which is Times New Roman 12-point font. As you can see, I have the 1-inch margin ruler up here for y'all to see so that you know what those margins will look like. And the header for the imaginary student is up here. So, for the essay, it's an expanded version of the paragraph. So, for the paragraph, we talked about it being a transition with your topic sentence, supporting details, and a concluding sentence. But with a essay, you'll have an introduction that has a hook, background details on your essay topic, and you will end with a thesis statement. And then you'll have body paragraphs. For every essay you'll do in this class, you'll have at least 3 body paragraphs. And then you'll have your concluding paragraph, which will restate your thesis, summarize your main points, and give the significance. Right. So, in essence, you'll be writing a 5-paragraph essay. So, 1 introduction, 3 body paragraphs, and a conclusion for a total of 5 paragraphs total. Alright, so this is an outline or a scarce outline of what this would look like. As a matter of fact, if you take this and expand it and put 3 of these, that would be what your outline would somewhat look like. And that's 2 pages of an expanded outline. So I'm sure you would want to know what this would look like in an actual paper form. So let's see if we can view this side by side with the actual draft I have mocked up. So over here we have our outline, and over here we have the actual start to the essay. So once again, we have our 1-inch margins, go all the way around. And this one has notes on it, so the margins are a little bit expanded so that you can see the notes that I have on the side for this actual essay. And notice the spacing, like there isn't a lot of extra spaces between these paragraphs. So match this up with your paragraphs to see, okay, does yours look like mine? And so I'm going to revise this title so that it matches the subject of the paragraph, that the essay that we're writing on. And this essay is Living on Campus. And I'm going to center it. And if you go up here, and I'm going to make this big for a moment. If you go up to the top and click center, that's how you're going to get your title in the center. being an adult, rules and living alone. And you put sort of, as a bit of a, hint that you don't always get to live alone when you live on campus. Pardon me. Alright, so we have our hook. Your hook here, and I have a note. Sometimes people wish they could run away from home, right? And so the idea is to get away from home, And a grabber can be a question, a statement, a fun fact, a quote, anything as long as it grabs the reader's attention. That is the key part of a grabber, or some of you know it as a hook. So I use both. They're interchangeable as long as it gets the reader's attention. And you move on and you give your background details. So once you have the reader's attention, get some good details, that background information. So when a person gets a chance to get away from college, in a way, it's like run away from home. That person gets to move out of their parents' house and away from their parents' rules. However, transition, they are not completely free when a person moves onto campus. Campus housing often has its own sets of rules and regulations the person must live by. So this is my background. We're trying to move out of our parents' house, and people often do that when they move into their, dorm. And so my goal is to talk about living on campus. So how do you end up living on campus? You move from your parents' house to going to the campus housing. And that leads me to my thesis statement. When a person lives on campus, they must follow a specific set of rules, and they must also make rules for themselves in order to survive as an adult. So the goal here for your thesis statement, you would hope that your entire paragraph supports this thesis statement. All right. So my first body paragraph is going to talk about that first part of my thesis statement. It says they must follow a specific set of rules. And so before we move on, let's recap. The introduction, we have our hook, background details on the topic, highlighted in yellow. In the yellow, here are background details, and our thesis statement. Underlined in bold, we have our thesis statement. So check, check, and check, right? Now, we're going to transition into our first body paragraph. To begin, transition, check. One rule that a dorm may have is no visitors after a certain time. All right, so specific set of rules. What is the specific rule? No visitors after a certain time. Now, one reason for this rule may be that the dorm has quiet hours, and visitors may disrupt quiet time. So, I have a reason for this rule. Why does this rule exist? And give an example of why they institute these rules. Right? That's what this next part is. So I'm not just going to tell the rule, I'm going to give a reason for the rule, right? To further back up, why they do this. Because I'm not just saying they must follow a specific set of rules. My paragraph is about the rules. I have to give details about the rules. I have to describe the rules. So no visitors and quiet time is another rule. Right, so I'm giving rules and examples of rules and detailing all at the same time. Furthermore, some people may have roommates, so having a curfew for visitors may help minimize these rules. All right. And so I give more details about why this rule is in existence. So I don't just say, hey, people have no visitors. The whole paragraph is about details about this rule that is put into place. Does that make sense? I would hope that makes sense. And so here's the rule. Here's why the rule is put into place. reason 1, and reason 2. So you're going to have at least 2 examples of why this is in place or why this works in order to support your topic sentence. You're not going to just leave it there and then go on to something else. This whole paragraph kind of supports this rule. Not kind of, it absolutely supports this rule. And then you go into your concluding sentence. As a result of these issues, dorms may put into place a no visitor rule to memorize issues such as these. So I'm going to give you a moment to actually look at this paragraph so you can see what I'm talking about. So, topic sentence. To begin, one rule dorms may have is no visitors after a certain time. One reason for this rule may be that the dorm has quiet hours and visitors may disrupt quiet time. Often, these people have friends over, they can get loud, which may disturb other people in the hall. As a result, the resident assistants will institute the visitor rule to minimize noise issues. Furthermore, moving on to the second reason for why this rule is put into place. Many people have roommates, so having a curfew for visitors may help minimize issues with roommates having friends over too long. Say one roommate has a boyfriend or girlfriend, and that roommate wants to have them over all the time. This could be inconvenient for the other roommate, especially if he or she wants to shower or change clothes. Also, it could be seen as the other roommate monopolizing the room because the other roommate isn't tired to alone time in the room they pay for as well. As a result, right, so I marked it reason number 2, and these are supporting examples. You changed colors on me because it was red. I'm not going to question it. Okay. Reason number 1, I have my supporting examples. Reason number 2, my supporting examples. And then I have my concluding sentence. As a result of these issues, dorms may put into place a no visitors rule to minimize issues such as these. Right? So, restate your topic sentence and then give the significance. They may put this rule in place to minimize the issues. So, this is the important part because it reflects what I talked about in my paragraph. And I would do this same setup for each and every paragraph. So I have 2 sample topic sentences for the next paragraph. I didn't fill them out because, time. But to add to this, no visitors past certain time rules, this is my transition. My transition links this paragraph to the previous paragraph. Right? Dorms, they also prohibit certain appliances. And I would do the same format. I would give an example. Okay, why maybe a specific appliance like hot plates. Why would they not want hot plates? Also, they would prohibit maybe blow dryers. They don't do that. But if they did, why would they prohibit blow dryers? And give my reasons for that. And then a concluding sentence, just like I did up here. So example, reasons, example, reason, example, concluding sentence. Right. And then I would do that for all 3 body paragraphs before I get to my conclusion. So for my conclusion, my goal is to restate my topic sentence, my thesis statement, summarize my main points, and give my significance. So, living on campus, small, hey, living on campus with rules and regulations set forth by not only living on campus comes with rules and regulations set forth not only by the resident assistants but also the students as well. So, look at this thesis statement and compare it to this previous one. The person lives on campus, they must follow a specific set of rules. They must also make rules for themselves in order to survive as an adult. These have the same general idea without being the exact same sentence. And that's okay. As long as they have the same meaning and the same concept, they do not need to be identical. As a matter of fact, you want to reword them so that they are not identical. And then after that, you summarize your main points. Your main points are your body paragraphs. So what you would do here is take your body paragraphs and summarize each of your body paragraphs in a sentence or two. So for one, when a person lives on campus, they have to abide by visitor rules in order to be considerate. That is paragraph 1. Also, students have to watch, and it's going to ask me to change have to must, which is a good, helpful tip. Must watch the types of appliances they bring to the dorms. Must doors may also prohibit certain appliances. And finally, now the student is more of an adult student, will have to start putting their own rules in place in order to survive, thrive. Sorry. So once you've restated or summarized your main points, that's when you go into giving your significance. So the significance is why this matters. All right, so you don't want to stop at just one sentence. So initially, the student stopped here at this first sentence, and I asked them to go on. So while going off to college may seem like it will be complete freedom, there will always be rules put into place wherever a person goes. That's a good start, but you want to continue. Why does that matter? There isn't any real place where one lives without rules. However, sometimes rules are helpful to making you a better person. I allowed you here, but someone or someone would be better. You would be allowable in that case. And so this entire section here is the significance. So restate the thesis, summarize the main points, give the significance, give the so what, tell the reader why it matters. So end on a strong point. And don't bring in new information. That is the most important part of your conclusion. Do not bring up new information. So as you can see here at the bottom, there's 463 words. And that is without the second two body paragraphs. So if I say, aim for 2 pages, that should be very easy to do. Especially if you're giving 2 examples and clearly explaining your examples. If you're only at a half a page, that's how you know you haven't elaborated enough in your essay. Also, it could be an indicator that you're not in the correct font or the correct size. So also check this to make sure all of this is correct. So single space would be a bad idea. So single space. This is definitely 1 page. Alright. So you want to make sure this is an entire double-spaced essay. Alright. Good luck on your quiz.